Speed limit for Griff. Ten-handed.
Not more ace-jack than ace-10.
That's what the thing I was going to say earlier when I began to say I wanted to address is whether or not going
It's
from
just a
9 to 10
fold
really
anyways, so.
changes a lot in terms of opening ranges and things such as this.
Yes, so 10 under the gun 10 is no joke.
And perhaps that is going to make this hard 10 look mightier than it is. Latinois, ace jack off. Is that corduroy, by the way?
The jacket on
Yeah.
Latinois?
Yeah.
I was wondering that myself. I'm not sure what the material is.
Because when I think 100+ degrees outside Fahrenheit, it's not my first choice in terms of material. But to be fair, we saw the bandana blowing in the wind earlier. They got the AC cranking.
It is cold
out there
in the horseshoe. I don't know if he puts it, if he carries it under his arm, and then once he enters it goes on, or if he just leaves the house with it. Sevens for Estet. Covering Griff ever so slightly pre.
Me? It's on me.
He climbs aboard for an extra 2.4. Offsuit connector here for Sirac.
Ball.
He's in. These multi-way spots are weird from the big. You'd like almost rather have 6-7 off than a Jack 10 or a 9-10. Not necessarily. Oh my! You would like to have the 7-8 against bottom
My
set
goodness.
and set as well. Oh my word!
The joint for Sirac. A gutter and second pair effective for Estet with blocker properties and bottom set for Griff. Uh-oh. Estet comes out swinging. 3.5. Now salesmanship from Sirac.
If Sirac raises straight away, it's immediately bizarre for Griff. Right off the bat. But let's see.
For Jordan, without question, this feels like such a dreamy spot. We don't expect the nuts to risk losing customers, so we remove that from Estet's range, perhaps, and then the flat from Sirac could be all manner
Huge
of
turn coming.
things.
Clean for Sirac, obviously. Disastrous for Griff. For Estet, he does double block the straight, but the overcall from Griff on the flop is so kind of alarming. And by the way, one must say, Sirac is pretty composed out there, just, you know? I know he has the stone nuts, but he's not just his body. He looks pretty calm.
We know why on this occasion.
What was the bet? 11 million for Griff. Likely we call. We're in the kind of call and pray zone, I suppose.
He agrees. And by the way, the call comes in with some pace. So Estet can begin to sense that sevens are performing quite poorly for the time being.
Estet may still wonder about a sticky aces or kings, but he is gone, and a nice choice it was. 43.7 in the middle.
Griff needs to find a pair on the board, and he's found quads.
Ollie. Oh my.
And suddenly,
Griff is on a heater right now.
Sirac is tasked with determining with what frequency this call, flop, turn action from Griff after opening is attached to a filly, or better, as we can see.
There's 10 combinations of hands that beat us, and then there's perhaps 12 of kings or aces, and that's about it. Maybe he has jacks or tens, but or ace nine suited, but it's already hyper condensed. For Sirach, seeing the board pair there, it is quite deflating, but we still have an incredible hand. Odd spot. Again, over 40 in the pot. Joe's trying to figure it out. 61 back left to play.
Could it be queens full?
It could definitely be queens full. It could be queens, nines, sixes, or fives easily as played.
And then the kings and aces that you mentioned, which is what Sirach is targeting.
He goes for 35, I believe. What a moment this has to be for Griff. This is crazy stuff. You know, this is out of the movies. Doing his best to sell a bluff. It's just once it goes in, the gig is kind of up.
Yeah.
One can always have a bluff, don't get me wrong, but this would be, you know.
It would be such a deeply unexpected spot in which
It's hard to even have the combos. He does do it, and C-Rock doesn't like it.
God. Alex.
He asks for a count, by the way. You saw the visceral reaction, and now a page out of Mora's book with the F-burger. Is he lamenting his choice to pursue value on the end instead of check, decide?
You know,
is that it?
He may have gone a little bit big here, and he's lamenting that as, again, Griff's range. It's kind of the aces, kings, and then these.
61.
But I think he's, you know, also lamenting the fact that Griff has us beat here. Almost always.
We can remove the aces and kings here because Griff would have no incentive to ask for the extra 26 million.
I'm not going to.
When he could just flat, and Griff shows him
You want to
quads.
fold to the flop, Rich. At 8-7.
I'm not going to make you guys wait.
At 8-7.
Good fold, Joe.
8-7's never good on the river there. With the raise. That's just the cooler.
Yeah. What a hand.